Hey guys, King Kaiju here. Today we're going to be doing another Kaiju review. I actually filmed the dinosaur review earlier today and I wasn't really satisfied with it, so I'm going to be doing another one today. And that of course is on Antlar, the bug kaiju. Now, to anyone who's not aware of who Antlar is, this is one of the original Ultraman monsters that of course appeared in, Ultraman. And this is probably my favorite episode of the entire show because Antlar is a very menacing monster, as well as just the overall design of that episode is really, really good. So I won't waste any more time and get straight into detail over this guy. Now, for a giant beetle, Antlar looks pretty dang good. I really like a lot of the things that he has going for him. There's a few versions out there of Antlar, but this, in my opinion, is the nicest version of the figure. It might be a little hard to see in this lighting, but he has a lot of good detail up on his head. In front of his face, in my opinion, is probably where it shines most. You can see a lot of the intricate details of his mouth and things like that on it, as well as his big, antlers. His arms look like bug arms, of course, and so do his legs. One thing that I'm not too big of a fan of when it comes to the sculpt is that it's not very good at balancing. He'll either fall face first or fall on his back, and that's because he's kind of crunched over. However, this is accurate to how he does appear in the show, so I'm not going to complain that much. Overall, I'd say detail on Antlar is probably one of his biggest strong suits, honestly. Now, when it comes to articulation, he does have 4 points, but it's not the usual that you would probably think of. His head can move, and it can turn 360 degrees, so if you wanted to, you can break his neck. He also has some rotation in his waist. It's kind of hard to show it. There you go. And it can spin, I believe, 360, so if you wanted to get this view for whatever reason, you can. And of course, his arms can move, so he can slash at other monsters. But that is his 4 points of articulation, so he actually is somewhat poseable. You can get him in some decently good poses to where he's looking around himself, and of course to where he's, attacking other monsters. Sadly, his legs of course don't move, but that's mainly because this is a more humanoid looking monster, and on most of those guys, they don't really move their legs for whatever reason on Bandai figures. So now let's get into the sizing of Antlar, which is going to be kind of difficult, of course, because he doesn't really like to stand that well. I'll just hold him down with my thumb here for a second, and we'll pose him up next to another Ultraman monster, which is Gamora. Of course, these guys never fought, but they're both about the exact same size compared to Ultraman, and I would say that, yeah, Antlar looks pretty good next to Gamora. The only thing that I'm not too big on is the fact that the head here is really big, but everything else is pretty proportionate to the rest of them. Another Ultraman monster I have on hand that is not really great for sizing, but it's the only other Ultraman monster I have, is Bolton. And of course, Bolton is huge here because this is like the 8-inch version. I'm not sure why they would ever meet, but Bolton looks pretty imposing next to him, and they both are kind of insectoid monsters, so we'll get another early Ultraman beast that is not necessarily from the exact same show, but it's from the Showa era, so it works, and that is Verachrome. Now this kind of shows a very drastic era in the Ultraman saga. This guy comes from Ultraman Ace, and in Ultraman Ace you had a bunch of crazy looking monsters like Verachrome, and this is a little bit more subdued. Antlar looks a little bit more realistic. Meanwhile, Verachrome, it's kind of hard to tell what he's even supposed to be. But overall, yeah, they contrast each other in very different ways. And that is Antlar for you guys. Overall, I really like this figure. I had searched for it for a little while, and finally I have it in my collection, and I could say I'm really happy with it. Antlar is a cool looking monster. Like I said, his episode is my favorite from the original Ultraman, and I would say that if you can get your hands on this guy for a good price, under I would say $30, then by all means try your best to get it. So thank you all for watching this review of Antlar, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take it easy.